If you've been eating less for months and fat loss has completely stalled, doing more is usually not the answer. In many cases, doing less restriction is. That sounds counterintuitive, because we've been taught that fat loss is simply about maintaining a calorie deficit. But the body doesn't respond to math alone. It responds to signals. And when the dominant signal has been long-term energy scarcity, the body adapts. Resting energy expenditure decreases. Spontaneous movement often drops. Hormonal signals that regulate hunger and recovery can shift. Over time, the deficit that once produced steady fat loss becomes smaller in effect, not because you failed, but because your body became more efficient. So the question becomes, how do you change the signal? One approach that is often misunderstood is the idea of a diet break. A diet break is not a cheat week. It is not uncontrolled eating, and it is not abandoning structure. It is a planned, temporary increase in calorie intake, usually toward estimated maintenance levels. The goal is not fat gain. The goal is signaling safety. When energy intake becomes more consistent and no longer chronically suppressed, the body can gradually reduce the conservation response. Resting expenditure may begin to recover. Training performance can improve. Non-exercise movement often increases naturally. Hunger regulation can stabilize. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean metabolism resets instantly, but it can shift the internal environment from defensive to cooperative. Many people fear increasing calories because they assume immediate fat gain. But when increases are moderate and structured, the body often responds differently than expected. In some cases, fat loss becomes easier after a recovery phase than during aggressive restriction. Because now the signal is different. Instead of energy is scarce, the message becomes energy is stable, and stable systems tend to function more efficiently. This is sometimes referred to as reverse signaling, gradually restoring energy availability so the body no longer needs to conserve as aggressively. It requires patience, it requires structure, and it requires letting go of the belief that more restriction is always better. Sustainable fat loss is rarely about pushing harder. It is about understanding when to apply pressure and when to relieve it. Your metabolism is not the enemy. It's a responsive system. And when you shift the signals you send, the system often shifts with you. Sometimes progress doesn't require cutting more. It requires restoring first, so that fat loss can move forward again from a healthier baseline.